Hello there, beautiful ones. Hello, Cosmic Beings. Rosie Glow here. I'm so excited to share this energy update with you. Got New Moon in Leo and Lionsgate portal coming open on the 8th of August. So that's coming up on Sunday for many of us, some of us Monday. And ultimately, this is a real opportunity for us to activate our divine human self. So if you're interested in awakening at a time when we are most needed to remember our soul mission, just stay tuned. I am Rosie Glow, and I'm here to help activate the divine human consciousness in every awakening star seed. That is the you, the soul you that wants to activate here on earth at this time. Be your best self. And remember that we are all here to create the new earth paradigm. That's what we're here for. So if you like the sound of that, please hit the subscribe button and that notifications button, and you'll know every time I'm doing a live. The next one will be on Friday, 12:30 p.m. BST. So that's UK time. I believe that is 12. Check out the PST. I'll put it in the details below, and an EST as well. So EST is 5 hours before. And ultimately, it is important for us to gather at this time because we are going to be energizing the opening of the portal and making the most of the energies that are coming through. If you are new to the Lionsgate, then please check it out. There's loads of information online, but essentially we align with the Syrian sun, or the Syrian sun aligns with us, and we get a huge downpour of the most high frequency energies, utterly potent energies to help us to purge the density that keeps us stuck in third and fourth dimensional frequencies, anything that's fear-based, doubt-based, struggle-based. And we get this opportunity to shed that quickly so we can ascend into our 5D consciousness. And it is absolutely imperative at this point for us to stabilize on the most graceful, easy and joyful paradise timeline, which can only happen through stabilizing in 5D. And I'm going to be talking about that a little bit more as I go through this update, because it's got loads of info. You might want to grab a pen and paper, take some notes. This is like the coding for the new earth paradigm, what we actually need to do. It's not the how. That's what I teach through my coaching work. And I want to remind everybody that at this point, I have a Divine Feminine Leadership Retreat that's taking place in the UK in Forest Row, 17th to the 19th of September. Pre-booking is closed. 7 spaces have gone already. There's only 3 left. So if you are feeling the call to come along and you're a sister who wants to fully step into divine feminine leadership qualities, that means empowering the world to wake up in such a way that we are able to melt the hearts of those that most need to remember who they are at this point and to hear that truth code and come back online. We all need to support each other right now. So that Divine Feminine Leadership Retreat is there for everybody to upgrade their concept of empowerment to align fully with Divine Feminine. And I'll talk more about that because that's a part of activating our divine human consciousness. We need the Divine Feminine to help us to heal the wounded masculine, the wounded child, and the wounded inner feminine. And this is our work right now, my friends. If you're out there wanting to save the world, go inside first, do that inner work, and you will be so much more effective. Instead of you're constantly trying to push a wall down, you'll start to see the seas parting. This is the invitation. So the theme for the new moon co-creation meditation, which will be on Friday, and I'll get those other times to you later, is about putting your higher self in control. It's basically, I am surrendering to my higher self. Now, who is your higher self? Well, your higher self is what I would call your soul consciousness that's already living the life that you want to align with. There are infinite higher selves depending on each timeline that we are aligning with, but we're talking now about our divine design timeline, our divine blueprint timeline, the timeline that means we are activating 5D and stabilizing here on Earth, which means that old Armageddon timeline that seems to be playing out in the collective just disappears. It collapses. But we need to fully commit to being on this paradise timeline. And remember, there are many paradise timelines, so you want to align with the most graceful, easy, and joyful ascension paradise timeline. That is what we are subscribing to here. And if you are new to me, you know that I channel Divine Grace, which is the power of revelation that allows us to see things differently, to see something we couldn't see before, and therefore to move out of a state of struggle and stuckness and to move into a state of flow. That is the most beautiful thing any of us could do for ourselves and for the collective right now, because this way we flow that divine consciousness through us and we're a tsunami of love. This is the wave. We are creating the wave. We are the second coming. And I had this thought the other day, BC, remember before Christ? Well, there's another BC now, isn't there? It's before the thing that's been going around. Made me laugh. It's like, get activated. So, new moon in Leo, my birthday on the 12th. I love Leo season. This is the time when we just want to celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. And I feel like what we're doing energetically is we're calling in as much celebration energy as we possibly can whilst we have the sun on our side. We're pulling it deep into our own consciousness, our own structures, energy structures, embedding into our earth chakras and spreading this through the crystalline grid. And as a result of that, we're charging up that grid. We're like energizing it to such a point that we can glow through to the winter. Okay, we can glow through to those darker months. We've got loads of energy supporting us, pillars of light. So have as much fun as you can. This is your homework. You have full permission from me to have as much fun as you can. Let go of that fear of foreboding and doom and gloom, because that is what you're bringing to you if you're focusing on it. I'll talk a little bit more about this because there are several key points that are essential for us to be able to activate our divine human consciousness and stabilize in it. Please remember, everything I do deepens from one step to the next. So here's the update. Friday, we're going to have the new moon co-creation meditation, which is an activation of the codes we're talking about. And then in 2 weeks' time, in my inner circle, you are invited for a small fee to join me and to do the deeper clearing work, which we do with the full moon energy. We make this energy work for us, whether we created the moon, whether another consciousness did, whether it was created by the divine. That's not our worry at the moment. What we do is we use the energies to work with us, for us, rather than against us. So with the full moon, my friends, we're going to be clearing the resistance, the residue resistance that's there in all of us that prevents us from stabilizing 5D. And everyone needs to use their tools right now. So remember, Divine Feminine Leadership Retreat is for those who want to take that deep plunge into clearing the deepest issues that could be sabotaging their success. They can really step up and embody that divine feminine. The Fearless, Empowered and Free to Be Me program, which I run as a group coaching program now with 2 other awesome coaches, is how you deprogram from the fear matrix and plug into your divine paradigm, your Thrive paradigm. It's a 4-month process that we go through, and it clears all of the backlog of your history, of all the inherited stuff that keeps you stuck. But what you are left with, my friends, which all have to be aware of now, is our current consciousness, our current expectations. Are they sabotaging your intentions, or are they supporting them? This is what we need to get clear on. And this is why I keep showing up with these little updates to get you on point. And that is what continuing to do the deep inner work is so important for everybody to stabilize. We have to basically flock together with others of like mind and like heart and just lift each other up. This is not a time where we push on each other's heads, all right? We've got to lift each other up. And this is why you have the weekly connection with me if you want, through my Awakening and Wondering What the F Yoga, which is on Monday nights, UK time. Again, it'll be earlier in the day in the US, and it'll be later in the day in Australia and New Zealand. But this is where you get your weekly updates with me, so you can plug in, embody the frequencies, and have your focus for the week. And I've got a podcast coming as well with the same theme. I'm just building that up right now, so I'll be really excited to share that with you. But if you like what I'm talking about, you can head over onto Facebook and you can join my #StarPiece Seeding the New Earth narrative group. Be my friend, like my fan page, Rosy Glow. You'll be able to see a link to it there. And why not subscribe also to my mailing list, because there's loads that goes through to my community that you won't have access to otherwise, including the free Star Salutation Prosperity Practice, which clears blocks around money, around love, around health. And this is so important because part of us activating our divine human consciousness and stabilizing in it, you'll hear me use that word a lot. Thank you, Jen, for reminding me of it. Is that we absolutely need to open to our divine wealth blueprint, to our divine wealth legacy. And this is one of the key things I work with on all of my coaching programs. And it's also what I'll be working with on the retreat. So the retreat is like a divine feminine baptism. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's like the codes are already there. Lady Nada and Magdalene called me in a few days ago. We had this phenomenal initiation where the codes were anchoring into the earth, and these beautiful, what were they now? not titanium, they were platinum heart threads were going out to all the women. So there's 3 women still left that are heeding this call. And to the divine masculines, if you're like, but I want to do it too, don't worry, we've got a divine masculine retreat planning for 2022. And the lovely Jo, who is supporting me in this retreat, is going to be joining me. That's Jo Baldwin Trott, and she is phenomenal, works with the divine masculine a lot. We're bringing everything together. So keep your ears peeled and join the mailing list so you can find out more. Right, let's go into this. So the energies of this new moon, fire sign, Leo, right? This is about blasting through, creating change. The path is cleared. The energy is there to burn away what no longer serves us, to burn away the distortions, to let go of all of the bad luck stories, poor me stories, victim consciousness stories, and fully anchor into our empowered state within us, our divine human self. So what characterizes that is what you are passionate about. What do you feel you're in this world today for? Why have you come here? What do you get frustrated by? Like, what is it that you feel isn't being done that no one else seems to be seeing but you? Guess what? It's your job to do that. You've got to step forward. There is no space for playing small for anyone. I have had massive upgrades recently. I'm working with some of the world's top pioneers, mavericks, leading the way people to get myself really on track so that I am like fully in this seeding star piece energy, because I've been playing small for way too long, getting pissed off about the fact that no one's really seeing what I'm doing, but I wasn't really giving myself the credit I needed to and stepping into my power. And that's what you need to do too. What is your job? What are you here to do? And if you don't know, then you need to ask your higher self. You need to put your soul in control. So a couple of hashtags for you. Hashtag star peace. Hashtag put your soul in control. Hashtag I am surrendering to my higher self. Why? Well, surrender is a very interesting concept that we'll go into. But if we want to create peace on earth, we have to have peace inside of ourselves. We have to declare peace in the collective. Our star family have already declared that the light has won, but we need to receive those codes into our being, which can only happen when we are plugged into our soul consciousness, when we activate our super conscious qualities and we plug into our earth chakras and our soul chakras. And this is what I really support people to do. It is really important to commit to that every day. I'm usually outside in my garden naked these days, doing my little star salutation practice, calling in my I am presence, remembering why I'm here. And, you know, it's important to switch up the words that you use as well, like being open to being phenomenally wealthy, for example, being open to allowing unimaginable horizons to be revealed to you, like what's beyond what you can conceive. This is Leo season. This is what the raining down of this beautiful Lionsgate frequency is going to give us, the ability to really think big. What's your best vision for this planet? What is it you really want to see happen in your lifetime? Consider this. Let it inspire you. This is your desire fire. This is how we use the anger within us to fuel passion for change, right? We're not here to bash everybody down with our ideas. We're here to honor our place, to sit on our throne, to remember we have a key piece in the puzzle that is us to place in the big puzzle of the new game that we're playing, okay? And in fact, I think that's just come through now. So let's just imagine that the third dimension, the fourth dimension, which is basically the mainstream narrative and the alternative narratives, otherwise known as C theories, etc., are basically playing a game of chess. Now, if you are on my path, if you're a way shower, a way blazer, a trailblazer, let's say, we move the chess game to the left. There's a new game. It's a spotlight on a puzzle. We are all each pieces of this puzzle. When you bring this puzzle together, you create that world peace strategy. This is unification. This is phenomenal. And when we do the co-creation meditation on Friday, we always start with a cacao blessing. I pull some cards to help us to integrate. In fact, I've got 4 here that I absolutely have to get for you. So just give me 2 secs. Sit with me, my friends. If you find it hard to sit still, please just do a bit of yoga. Have a little shake, like draw, write, whatever. This is like really important coding. So on Monday, when we did my last MultiDimensional yoga class, which is 7:30 till 9 p.m, as I said, and you can join me anywhere in the world because it's online, right? This is where we pull the cards, and these were the cards that came out. So multidimensional yoga is my awakening and wondering, what the fuck yoga? The heart of the matter is my higher self activation. It says here, I see you. So what this actually means is all of us have to invite our higher selves from our divine design timeline to step in and take control of our lives. So when you say to yourself, I'm putting my soul in control, I am surrendering to my higher self, you're calling that higher self forward. So be specific. My higher self, from the most joyful, graceful, and easy ascension paradise timeline. Step forward, take the wheel of my car, my vehicle in life, drive me in the direction I most need to go. That's an intention. You have to do that first, okay? This is incredibly important. If you don't do that, the part of you that's in control is your ego programming. Nothing wrong with your ego. I call ego little me, needing to make sure that I'm safe, like those tiny little doggies that bark all the time, right? It's like, ah. Now, this part of you will keep you safe in true and impending danger, like saber-toothed tigers. And you could possibly argue that we are in that kind of danger in today's day and age, but that is all part of the illusion of the material world, okay? When you are allowing that part of you to lead you, you are in a fear-based paradigm. You are plugged into the fear matrix. You are not thinking critically. You are not channeling your higher self. What you're actually doing is just in a state of fight, flight, freeze, going round and round in circles, chasing your tail. Clearly, you're not going to get anywhere, right? So you have to pull this part of you in. Absolutely important. Now, when you surrender to your higher self, what you're doing is you are choosing to surrender the bits of you that like to control things in order to feel safe to the very best evolution of the outcomes that you desire. So the way that I actually wrote this, I'm just going to put it down, is let go of attachment to outcome. You have an intention, you put your higher self in control, you have desires in your life that you want to co-create, often based on need, maybe more money, more love, more clients, better health, a different house, a different car, whatever it is that you actually need. Set your intentions, call in the support for this to happen, but surrender your attachment to outcomes. Because when you put your higher self in control, when you surrender to your higher self, what you're doing is you're surrendering your attachment to outcome, knowing that whatever you think is the best possible outcome is from your current perspective, but your higher self has an even better idea than you. So what you're surrendering to is the very best expression of that outcome, which you probably haven't even thought of yet. So you're not surrendering externally. You're not bowing down to external authority. What you're actually doing is you are surrendering to the you that's already living your best life and getting that part of you to arrange your life. So yes, things will move out of the way. Things will be taken away and you'll think, that's not what I called on. Well, actually it is, because you have to make space. I've just been going through a 4-month period of immense transition where it seems like I've been in this void. But what's happened is the weeds of the old life have been pulled out, new seeds have been planted, and they've just started to bloom. And oh my goodness, are they blooming? I'm sure you can feel it in my energy too. Whoever's here, welcome, please say hello. Now, the formula for this divine human self, let's go through this quickly. I am following a path. I've got something in front of me to keep me on purpose. Put your soul in control, surrender to your higher self. The block to this is remembering that you are a starseed. You've got to call in your superconscious, which happens with your I am statements, your affirmations. Go to my website, rosieglow.com, sign up to my tribe, my membership, top right-hand corner. It's also on the homepage. Sign up to the free Star Salutation Prosperity Practice. It has the Gaia Source Higher Self hookup in it, which is what you need to do this, and the tapping sequences to put this starseed consciousness at the forefront of your life. Third card, the here and now. What is the other aspect we need to do? We need to activate our divine architecture. We have to remember, as starseeds, we have a light body as well as our physical body. We have a core line that connects us to Source and to Gaia. We also have a light body that has to integrate from a six-pointed star to a diamond shape, which happens as we evolve our inner family by healing the wounds, by putting our higher self in control. That will then guide us to the right teachers like me, who are there to support you in shifting out of the struggle paradigm into the thrive paradigm, teach you how to do it methodically so you can get yourself in that state whenever you need to, and teach you also about divine architecture. So in my world, that's your core line. It's the outline of your physical body. it's your light body, and it's your sphere of compassion that's around you. This all has to be activated for you to bring more of your soul light into your physical being, to make the shift from the carbon-based cellular structure to the crystalline one. And look, they're going to be people that think I'm crazy, think you're crazy, this is nonsense, it doesn't exist. Who gives a you know what? We are living in a different paradigm, my friends. Don't look to your friends that are not there yet to determine your reality for you. You cannot look externally anymore for validation. No more giving power away to external authority. The authority is within. Your intuition is inside, your inner teacher. You have your divine seed in you. There's a divine spark in here which downloads soul consciousness. It's not going to come from those who are not awakened yet. So don't be looking outside on TV, on the radio, in the papers that are there for your directions. All that's going to do is lower your vibration. You know this already. Let's just not waste our time. Unplug from the existing paradigm, plug into your internal authority, and you'll connect to the divine paradigm that you are co-creating, aka paradise on earth, why we came here at this time. And what does this all lead you to? Well, the resolve in the infinite possibilities is that you become the very best version of yourself. Your light shines so brightly that, yeah, people are going to look at you and go, what's she got? Maybe they'll be jealous of you, but there's a beautiful thing about jealousy that I learned from another teacher yesterday. It inspires you to get into the idea of what you want for yourself. Okay, if you don't have something that someone else has, that means you've blocked the flow. You haven't learned how to align with it and to bring it into your life. So then you get inspired, you get a desire to also have that as well. You either stay in your, why does everyone else get it and I don't stay? Or you go, you know what, come what may, I am going to make this happen for me. I believe in myself. I trust myself. I love myself. I accept myself. And when you do that, the world conspires in your favor, because what your inner vibration is shifts. It totally changes. You become a magnet for what you want rather than repelling it. But you can't receive it from little you that feels lack, that feels you're not worth anything. The work, the effort comes from flipping that switch, from being in that state of what I would say out of alignment into alignment. You call in divine grace. You call in a miracle. This is the energy that we are all aligning with. We have to be our best selves. As Marianne Williamson said, who are you to play small? You know, you are needed to shine your light in this world. We all are. It is a divine mission we have each been given. Us staying cut off from it, going, no, I'm not worthy. No, I'm not good enough. No. Stop. It can't happen. Okay. You've got to go into the place that you say, I want it. I don't know how, but I want it. So I'm going to line up with it. My heart says yes. And the way reveals itself. Now, this takes me straight into what the key points are for us to activate our divine human self. So again, you might want to make some notes, because this is going to be what you want to anchor with now, so that by the time we get to winter, we are holding this energy. It doesn't matter what anyone is throwing our way. We're like, no, that's not the game we're playing anymore. Sorry, we're not doing that. This is what we're doing. I'm this piece of the puzzle, and I've connected with those around me. So we've talked about surrendering to your higher self, putting your soul in control. The next piece is stabilizing in 5D. Now, this means your capacity to be able to get back to your center, to, if you get triggered by fear or anger or anything that lowers your vibration, that you don't spend your life going, why did that happen again? I shouldn't ever feel this. To, fuck, that's happened. Let me come back to my center. I am now going to stabilize in the higher vibration that I want. That might mean calling out for help from your brotherhood, your sisterhood, your soul family, and saying, guys, ladies, beings, cosmic beings, I need you to help me to stabilize in this frequency right now. Many of us fear reaching out because we're scared we won't be met. And this is the thing. This version of you doesn't give a. This version of you accepts that not everyone's going to like people being in their brilliance. If you've been told as a child, who do you think you are? Look at you playing the big I am. All of that nonsense. Yeah, don't be a show off. All of that is what's thwarted you from being your brilliant self. Humility is an interesting concept. Okay, being brilliant doesn't mean you can't be you can't also be humble. Okay, you can be brilliant and humble. But the whole thing about humility is that shouldn't be stopping you from stepping forward in your brilliance. So where are you stopping yourself? All right, what else with that 5D thing? You've got to hold the vibe whilst only knowing the next step. So those of us who are here to co-create the bridge from this current world to the new one. We are the 4D, 5D bridges, okay? There are 3D, 4D bridges that are awakening right now, and that's great, but they are kind of helping to pull down the old world. We need to be building the new world, and the deal with your soul being in control is you have to trust. You will only be given information on a need-to-know basis. You will only be given the next step of the way. You will not be given the whole path. Now, our logical mind freaks out about this because the logical mind wants to know the whole plan. Well, the whole plan is bigger than you could possibly imagine. You have one part to play, and you do need to take instruction and trust that instruction. It's not coming from an external authority. It's coming from source direct through your inner compass, which is your heart. This is you, your awakened starseed divine essence self. That is who is driving this mission for you. So if you can trust that, you will have a much better time just putting your next step forward, next foot forward. The bridge, the staircase is being built through our self-belief, our trust in the fact that there'll be something there when we place ourselves there, right? So this is about believing before we see. And this is deprogramming from where we are currently in the mainstream, which is I'll only believe it when I see it. Now, there's loads of things we can't see that we believe in, including electricity, all right? It is time now that we honor this inner authority. So you've got to be willing to activate your imagination, because one of the other key points as a divine human is to recognize that if you are trying to use your brain, if you're trying to use your mind to create a new future, you are only ever going to create from, can't create something new using the mind, using the senses, computer, platform and program that needs an upgrade. The only way it can work for you is when you activate your imagination through your feeling state, through imagining what it would feel like to be where you want to be, to have what you want, to see the world the way you want it. And you've got to practice seeing it, even though it looks radically different. You're creating a new filter, a new lens to see through, right? We have to shift the programming of our projectors so that we project a new scene into the world. Then everything aligns with it because our vibration is lined up with it. So you're not going to be able to have the guarantees you had in the past. You are going to have blind faith in yourself, total trust in yourself. All right. You're going to have faith and trust and believe in yourself in ways you never had before. That means backing yourself. Okay, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it because my heart said yes. Now, your heart saying yes doesn't mean the absence of fear, right? Often we'll step forward wondering if we've got the qualities, if we've got the time, if we've got the resource, if we've got the money, if we've got the capacity to step forward. And we're not sure we do. We have that element of doubt. But what you do is you take the doubt and the fear with you. You don't let it stop you. Anyone who's had more than one child knows that you go through a process of like, I love this child so much. How will I have enough love for more than one child? And then you have that other child and that other one and that other one. And you realize there's enough love for all. But you still go through that questioning, that doubt, that fear. But it hasn't stopped you creating in this physical reality. So that's really important. So we said stabilize in 5D. We've also said believing in things before you see them. Remember, the hypothalamus is a part of the brain that cannot tell the difference between what is real and what is imagined. So all the time that you're in your head worrying about things that might happen, that's you visualizing without realizing it. Because even if you're not seeing it, you're vibrating to it, and your energy is emitting the frequency of expectation for that. So you see more of it. You draw more of it to you. It has to stop. So flip the switch. What is the world you want to see? Make believe it, my friends. That's what we're doing. That's how we're creating a new reality. And that's why people like me are so scary to people that don't want things to change. Okay, people like you are scary for people that want things to stay as they are. And I mean, go back to the old normal, right? Those who want surveillance, those who want to be told what to do. It's terribly scary when we come along going, we're sovereign beings of love and light. We don't need anyone telling us what to do. Thanks. We're in that flow. It's terrifying, but that's okay. So one of the other things that's really important to stabilize in 5D is not to fear rejection or abandonment or betrayal. And the way you stop fearing it is you make a deep commitment to yourself that you are not going to abandon, reject, or betray yourself, no matter what. Even if you feel like you've messed up, even if you feel something didn't go the way it should have done, it doesn't matter. You love yourself unconditionally. You accept yourself radically. That's the game. All right, we have to call back all parts of our souls that have been fragmented. We have to love up our shadows. We have to de-armor. This is all part of the process of everything that I do with the people that I work with. And there are many other wonderful teachers doing this too. So whoever you're drawn to, trust that they're the next stage of your journey. All right, let your heart lead you, not your mind. This whole what am I going to get for it thing, get over it. What is your heart telling you? Trust. You will be led to where you need to be so you can get the next piece of information to get you where you really want to be. And I will say this to you, stop playing for the next, the side roads. Go for the absolute super fast highway. Where do you really want to go? What is the force of change you really want to see take place in this life? What part are you going to play? Own it. No more whinging, moaning. Dream your dream, okay? And then we'll clear up the resistance to it. All right. So we've unplugging from external authority. We validate our internal authority. We believe before we see. We also have to do something that's very important, which is to claim our divine blueprint, our divine wealth blueprint, our divine prosperity blueprint. We are all here to thrive, not to survive, to thrive. Our conditioning will argue to the nth degree. We've had thousands of years of survival. So if you look to the past, we'll tell you, what are you talking about? It's all about survival. No, it is our birthright to thrive. It is our birthright to come here and to learn to co-create in the physical reality what we want to create. But we have the choice. We have free will to co-create what we don't want to create, and what we focus on grows. Where our energy flows, where our attention goes, energy flows. A whole load of cliches, right? But this is it. Okay, so you need to learn to take responsibility for the magic wand, which is your whole being, your energy, your consciousness, whether it's super conscious, subconscious, or conscious. Align the three. Get your super conscious to lead the way. Get your subconscious to follow the will of your conscious and super conscious, and go. All right, we've got to do that. We've all got to take responsibility for this. So it is our divine legacy. It is our divine birthright to be wealthy, to be examples of wealth. This takes me back to this one here. Wow, how come they're charging so much for their services? Who does she think she is? Well, I'll tell you who I am. I am the being that carries the energy that affects positive change in super speed. You just need to be around me like any of my sisters or brothers who are awakened, and things shift. If you're really blocked, you get near me, you want to cry. That's a bit scary, isn't it? You can understand why we've been burned at the stake. You can understand why every which way we have been challenged to stay small, but it's not happening anymore. So, divine blueprint, it means we don't have to work for money. Okay, it means that we can easily create the resources we want, so that what we do in our time, in our day-to-day life, is in service, not because we're desperate to pay our bills. Those are paid for, they're done. We've learned how to do that. We're showing up and shining for the collective to also get inspired to show up and shine. And we're teaching people to go through the process we did, because none of it got just given to us. We had to go through the fear, through the doubt, get to the edge of our comfort zone, expand that comfort zone, love up the resistance that comes up, and do this again and again and again and again and again until we stabilize. And here's what I've noticed for me personally, because I've gone through a 6-month terror and fear detox corridor since the last solstice, is I've noticed that the frequency of that doubt and fear coming up has lessened. Whereas it got really acute, my ability to deal with it every time, just like when you're dealing with a child that you're potty training, you've got to deal with things the same way again and again and again for something to stick. Okay, it seems like it's never going to end, but then it does. And that's like your final exams. So for me, I've been through a really intense growth period, and I was getting fear and doubt and frustration coming up again and again. And now what's happening is my capacity to flip out of it very quickly, come back to my center, let it go, is phenomenal. So it's not like you block the flow. You don't block how you feel. You own it. You have to be honest, but you transmute it super quickly. And that's the Leo energy as well. It's this fire that allows you to burn away what no longer serves you. And when you do it, you'll just notice that you're spending so much more time in the frequency you want to be in. And when you drop out, you can just drop back in. You don't scold yourself for falling off the horse. You just get back on it, right? Simple. So that would mean divine prosperity would mean also that you don't apologize for the energy exchange that you command, okay? If you want to be treated with respect, you have to respect yourself. if you want others to pay your worth, you have to believe in it, right? And all of us have a different set point. That's absolutely fine. We're here to lift each other up, but you have to take that position of leadership in your own being if you want to be someone that is co-creating your reality. You can't be led by others. You decide. You decide how much you deserve. You deserve how much you want, and you surrender to the highest good of all, knowing that what's best for you will come forward, and it will be different to what you thought. Perhaps it will definitely be better than what you thought in terms of the fulfillment that you're going to receive. You trust that. It allows success to be redefined beyond just material trappings, although they're part of it as well. Why should you live in a shoddy environment? Why should you struggle? Why should you not have enough? Well, listen to the language you use. Listen to how you speak about your well-being, your prosperity. I believe everybody can align with divine prosperity and sustainable wealth, and that's why I've been creating a program around it, and it is in beta testing at the moment, so anyone who works with me gets access to it. There you go. Join that community I keep mentioning. Last thing, anything else here? Yes. So you might lose some friends. You might have some family members that think that you're crazy. So what happened to Christ? What happened to Jesus? You think that everyone went, oh, wow, yes, wonderful idea, this change that you're talking about. Does change ever come about with people going, yeah, I like that idea, let's do it? What does the establishment do with change? Resists it. How did the establishment become the establishment? Well, it bullied its way in this sense. What do we need to do? As I said, we play a new game. We are asserting our authority now. We've had it done to us. We're claiming back our free will, and we are asserting it. So it is absolutely essential that you remember how powerful you are, and you do it today. Okay. Last thing is the Lady Nada activation and the Magdalene activation. This is why the divine feminine energy has been coming through so powerfully. Let's just remember that the wounded masculine, the wounded feminine, all comes from some time in the womb space. All of us have been in a womb. Most of us have been in a womb at a time when our mothers experienced more stressful emotions, stressful hormones than happy, easy hormones. We're addicted to adrenaline, not addicted to oxytocin. Unless your mom was super well nourished and nurtured, she had everything she needed, she was spiritually being supported to go through the transition from maiden to mother, she had consciousness around her, she was living in a lovely environment where she felt she could thrive. And this was also true for her mother, and this was also true for her mother, and it was also true for her mother. Then I'm afraid it's important to accept that most of us didn't get the best start in life. Okay, we didn't get programmed to thrive. And even if we had a conscious conception and a conscious pregnancy, what did the birth go like? What happened after the birth? Has that trauma been cleared? Because the first 7 years influence us way more than we realize. And I see loads of other teachers talking about from our birth onwards, but I don't see many talking about the influence of our time in the womb and also our conception. Just remember, hormones are basically expressed through our bloodstream. So their chemical composition of the blood changes as a result of the hormones that we have flooding through us. So when we perceive danger, threat, anything that is unpleasant, we go into a stress contracted response. This creates that fight, flight, freeze mechanism in us, and just kind of reiterates it again and again to this. It's a sort of go-to for us. It's part of our ego programming. If we are well nurtured and supported, we have more oxytocin flowing through us. And this is why pregnancy yoga, baby yoga are so important. Both of them essential, right? So whatever our normal expectation of life is, whatever our baseline expectation is when we wake up in the morning, that's been what we've been programmed to be. Other teachers talk about the fact that our thoughts, create the conditions of our lives. But I believe very much that, the baseline of our emotional expectation and our expectation of life is set before we have thoughts. Okay, it's inherited. And yes, we then have thought forms and belief systems that confirm that feeling state because that's what we grew up around. But initially, we don't even get to think and choose, right? It just gets programmed in until we deprogram it. That's why it's so important. And this is a piece that connects you to your soul consciousness rather than just your super conscious brain. Woo, this is a long one. So Lady Nada and Mary and the Magdalene flame, and actually also the rainbow flame, are essential. They're like the triple flame, if you like, that's been coming through me. So the Magdalene frequencies are like an amaranth red, which I see with gold. There can be these magentas coming through as well. And to me, this is like that earth mother energy. It's the raw energy that is of this plane. But it's also Magdalene as Christ's twin flame. Okay, it's Magdalene as the vocal, rebellious voice of the feminine. Just like Christ was actually rather rebellious in his time. He wasn't, like we said, the establishment. He was beyond the establishment and changed everything. But how do we know the messages we're currently getting are actually his essence, his truth? Religion has a lot to answer for. There is definitely some good in all of that. And you take the good, you take the best, you leave the rest. But just remember, in you, you will have the pure codes when you ask for them. So Magdalene says it raw, says it as it is. But what seems to be happening on this planet right now is on its own. That tends to close hearts. It tends to cause people to retract because fear is activated. And as a result, we go into our shells. So we don't act beyond the fight, flight, freeze. We don't create something new. This is why the Lady Nada frequencies are so important. Now, I'm integrating both and I'm calling them in every day. And my God, what is shifting is phenomenal, my goddess. But the Nada flame is basically preparing for ministry, for service. She softens that message. She is able to transmute the message into the truth, still the truth, but it allows us to speak our truth spell into the world in such a way that instead of shutting everyone down, it melts the heart. We know when we hear truth. This is grace in action. This is that aha moment. It's like, oh, I remember now. And you have a sudden awakening. You're like, oh my God. And you'll have often an emotional release as a result of it. We need these two integrated in us. Okay. So Lady Nada is one of the Chohans, and she is, again, a twin flame counterpart. And she is an embodiment of the divine feminine from this sort of source frequency. As I said, I see the Magdalene more as we can identify more with the humanness of Magdalene, but the two have to be integrated in us for our divine feminine to be fully activated and our wounded feminine to be healed. And remember, whatever your gender, this is about your inner family, the mother, father, child archetypes. Okay, so it has to happen in all of us. But if we are in the physical embodiment of the female in this life, we are going through this process first. We're getting this initiation first. And as I said, the third rainbow flame, which has been coming through for me since July 2018. And it is basically the 2-strand to 12-strand activation. Okay, for those of us who are moving into our divine human activation, what we're doing is we're moving from a 2-stranded DNA sequence to our 12-strand DNA sequence, and we're pulling back in all of the coding that we once had. Crystals are really helping us to do it because we embedded the codes of our master selves into the crystals when the fall of Atlantis was happening, on the basis that we knew we would get access to them. I'm looking for them. I haven't got anyone around me right now. Here's a couple of rose pieces. So yeah, all of the mastery codes are in these crystals, but we can't activate them until we've been through so many initiations that we have self-elected. We have challenged ourselves again and again to make sure that come what may, we would not compromise our integrity as truth sayers, truth keepers. You will be hearing me right now if you're one of them, right? So when we've proven to ourselves through going through enough hardship, which we have self-elected, and oh my God, have I witnessed people and been through it myself, and it's horrible, but we're showing ourselves that no matter what, we stay connected to this divine truth, to the fact that we remember we're souls, then we can access these codes because we know we're not going to abuse them. The abuse of power comes as no surprise. You hear this a lot in the third dimension. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. Damn friggin' right it does if you're in a 3D ego consciousness and you have not surrendered to your higher self. So what I'm talking about is your bridge between ego to heart, okay? Between ego self to divine human self. That evolution, we require these 3 flames. And the rainbow flame comes through like gems. It comes through in different ways. Sometimes it's like a milky white, really past, and it's really strong and vibrant. And there is a flame that relates to it called the victory flame, which is like gold stardust. But it has like, if you see a rainbow in a puddle and it kind of looks like petrol-y, it has this glitter coming through of the blue, the green, the purple, sometimes even yellow and orange. Like if you're seeing that, just trust, okay? You're getting these codes for a reason. All of this has to be done. All of this is our work, my friends, now over the next 3 to 6 months. It's what we've got to do. Whatever you're hearing about what's coming, like, it's so paper thin. What's coming is what we create. We've got to create it. We've got to write it. We've got to paint it. We've got to draw it. We've got to sing it. We've got to speak it, right? We have to activate imagination, seed the new earth. What do we want everything to look like? And we need a lot of upgrades to do that. So that's the invite. This new moon and this Lionsgate portal activation on the 8th. That will all be happening on the 8th. My meditation activation is on Friday. So you've got a few days to be able to access that energy and make the most of it. So consider what your intentions are. What is your gift to this world? What do you want to see happen? And what part do you want to play in it? That's all you need to think about. If you really get on that and you bring that with you on Friday, we will activate the initiation codes. And then in 2 weeks after that, we're going to clear the resistance up fully. You'll be doing it in process anyway, but we shed a whole load of density with the full moon energy upgrade. Okay, it's a healing and energy upgrade. New moon co-creation meditation, full moon energy healing and upgrade. All right, it's all here for you. So is the Monday night online yoga, Awakening and Wondering What the Fuck, which is multidimensional yoga. So is the Fearless, Empowered and Free to Be Me program, which is my signature group coaching program, which I'm co-coaching with other amazing coaches at the moment. Super conscious co-creating methods, the one-to-one way for those of you who are leaders that want to get there as quickly as possible, clear the blocks and basically just step forward. But I'm ending up with a waiting list there at the moment. So come and join Fearless. And then when there's space, you can upgrade as you wish. Everything you do is going to happen in the perfect sequence for you. And if you're feeling the call to the divine leadership, divine feminine leadership retreat, act now. We are in the sale price now. We had a pre-booking price. It's going to be about a week now sale price. So if you want one of those 3 places that are left, please act quickly. Get in touch ASAP. You can direct message me through Instagram or Facebook. You can send me a message through my website. Remember to put what you're interested in and I'll contact you. And in the meantime, I intend that everything you've just heard just makes you go, ah! And you're really excited about what we're being called to step into, because it is time now. Okay, we've got so much energy given to us and available to us. Just enjoy it. So much love. Remember to subscribe. And if you want to share this with someone else to awaken them, please do. Thank you so, so much for showing up in this world. I love you.